Cool card, Aaron.
Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another side quest episode of Game Bass Grab Bag, your usual weekly podcast where we review games. But today was the Xbox Developer Direct 2026, and Xbox revealed 4 games. And so I am your hardcore gamer host, Andrew, and I am joined by our current stand-in noob, Aaron.
Thanks for having me. And technically, they revealed 3 games, and they had a surprise 4th game in there. That was
Did they not reveal it, Aaron?
They did reveal it, but it was not originally displayed that a 4th game was going to be there. It wasn't Shadow Drop, though. I think a lot of people were hoping for the Shadow Drop.
Everyone wants a Shadow
I know.
Drop.
Ever since Xbox did it, now it's just like, oh, they're going to Shadow Drop something.
I know. Every time these directs comes up, people are just, there's a Shadow Drop. There's got to be one. And it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was like, it annoys me, but it also was very smart of Microsoft to do this because now everyone says that. So now people kind of get excited for this and they're like, oh, I got to watch. Is something going to happen? They did actually technically Shadow Drop, I think last year too.
Oblivion. Oblivion was Shadow Dropped, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Shadow Drop it was Shadow Drop, but not during the Developer Direct. I think it was last year's when they revealed Ninja Gaiden. They Shadow Dropped the remake of Ninja Gaiden 1?
Yeah, you could be
or
right.
2. It was 2.
You could be right.
So technically, yeah, I guess they Shadow Dropped a game last year as well. But I will say, everyone at least knows there's going to be at least 4 games that are going to be announced. So right off the bat on this Developer Direct, they only showed 3, and it's just like, okay, well, there's going to be a 4th. What's the 4th?
People were calling that out pretty much right away. So it was probably the least surprising surprise game.
I mean, it was very surprising to me. Well, it wasn't surprising that there was a 4th game. I've always been curious. Do you think it actually hurts them to just be like, because like I don't know, when you want people hyped up, like Microsoft bought the studio of Double Fine. If you didn't watch the Direct, Double Fine was the hidden studio that came out.
We'll get into the details. We'll break down each game and we can kind of talk about that. In a minute.
Yep. But anyway, before I guess we get into this, I just want to quick remind everyone, please make sure you're checking us out on Spotify for the next month or so. We're trying to get partner program. We're very close. So if you could give us that extra push, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also too, since we're doing a side quest episode, I thought we'd read some of the comments that we got recently. So first off, thank you to ID No, who wrote that we should, he said, yo guys, I'm new here. But I asked if you could do Call of Duty World War II. I did not think people still liked. I thought Call of Duty World War II was actually not a favorite.
You know, it's funny because to me, I think that was probably the last great Call of Duty campaign.
When you said that, I thought about it. I was like, you actually might be right.
Yeah,
just sad.
I mean, it's sad, but it just kind of makes sense because it was a grounded game. So. World War II was not the last Call of Duty in World War II because that was Vanguard.
Which I've heard that was pretty bad.
I don't remember that single player at all. Maybe I never played it. I might not have. It's like 50-50 if I'm going to play the multiplayers, but most times, if it's a World War II focused one, I'm going to play that one. And some of the earlier Black Ops were all pretty good. But nowadays, they're just kind of unplayable. So I would be interested in going back to that one. I don't know if there's people out there that want to hear it. But if you do, if you think Call of Duty World War II would be an interesting one to go back to, leave a comment. These are all comments off of Spotify, correct?
Correct.
All right, so leave it on Spotify.
Yeah. Or you can talk to us directly on our Discord. But yeah. And then also in our comment for our Little Nightmare episode, John, a longtime listener we've had, he said, another wonderful episode that frees me from the shackles of monotony of day-to-day life. Love a short game, so I'll have to give this a try. I must say I'm curious about the developer's name, Tarsier Studios. It says, when I was a little bugger, my Uncle Cecil had a pet Tarsier that he would let me play with. Its name was Felix. And I whittled away so many weekend hours playing with the little guy. That is until he croaked. But will always hold a special place in my heart for Felix. R.I.P. Felix.
Yeah, we're thinking about you today, Felix. Yeah, John, if you guys have been paying attention to the comment section on Spotify, you'll see John is kind of a legendary commentator at this point.
Yep, always writes nice things to us.
And We commented on. We didn't know Tarsier was an actual, or Tarsier, I think is what they are.
Yeah,
Was an actual animal.
I didn't either.
They're kind of freaky looking, bug-eyed guys.
They look like they kind of look like a sugar glider.
Kind of look like a sugar glider, just kind of like a more alien-looking sugar glider. But yeah, that is a real animal. So I thought he was just making that thing up, but no, real thing.
I actually wanted to read a bad review we got on Apple.
Oh boy.
So somebody gave us a 1-star review on Apple. I mean, I don't care. I always love negative feedback too. But this is a thing that always just boggles my mind. They apparently did not like our Silk Song episode. He said, God, these guys do not understand the game. Generally, listen to these guys talk about Silk Song makes me want to rip my hair out. They can't read between the lines and see the incredibly fascinating lore of the game. Don't even get me started on their complaints of the difficulty. Like, I hate to be that guy, but you guys quite literally need to get good. Binding is a great mechanic. All instances with double damage are fair, and the platforming of this game is spectacular. Also, Hollow Knight does in fact contain enemies that deal double damage. I don't get people who get very angry. We liked Silk Song. I don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, we were all pretty positive. And the other thing is, I don't think we were down on the lore at all.
No, we liked the lore. Both me and you really liked it. Keith, I think, was kind of like, I don't know what's going on.
I think this is another thing that happens, is one of us will have a take that like somebody doesn't agree on. And they kind of treat it as if that was all our take.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I think we were all pretty positive, maybe with the exception of Keith. And well, I loved the world. Like I loved the lore. I'm not really sure what this guy was on about.
The only thing on difficulty I remember us complaining about was it is a barrier of entry. There will
100%.
be people who won't play this game because it is too hard. And that's what we stated of. So I wanted to read this review because I just want to tell people, don't be that guy. Like you're also kind of gatekeeping the game of like, oh, you're just not good. Like, come on, don't be that person. Like, not every game's for everybody. Silk Song is a hard game.
He wanted to just fight. He just wanted to fight for the sake of fighting and wanted to defend his game, which is totally fine. But like, I don't know, make sure you're actually kind of matching us with that argument. Just kind of adding some stuff in there that just isn't quite accurate to what we were saying is not really helping.
Yeah. But also in a Little Nightmare episode, Devin Howard, also another longtime listener, longtime commenter. He said, I'm sad I never requested you guys play Ninja Gaiden Sigma/Black. Would have been a great addition to keep in an eclectic catalog, and I wanted to know if it would still be a fun game for noobs in God mode difficulty. I'm glad you actually recommended that. I've never fully played a Ninja Gaiden game. I have dabbled in like a couple of them, like only like an hour or two. But anytime those games kind of come around, I always have so many other games on my plate that I've never gotten to a Ninja Gaiden game.
Also, interesting timing with that because Ninja Gaiden Ragebound dropped yesterday.
Yeah,
I think it's dropped yesterday on Game Pass.
2D action platformer, or
Yeah.
just 2D platformer.
So I'm with you. I've never played a Ninja Gaiden game, so I'm not really sure what to expect. They're supposed to be crazy hard, though, right? That's like the thing.
Yes, I remember. So the one I played most of, I believe, was 1, and I think it was like the original one that was on the 360. And I remember getting very frustrated with ninjas that were throwing dynamite at me. But that's literally all I really remember about that game. I just remember it's just ninjas throwing dynamite at me, and I was like, "What is this? This is annoying." But they're supposed to be no. And I'm curious, like, are they still that hard?
Yeah.
Because like obviously nowadays, case in point, the one I read of Silk Song and our Dark Souls that you've been getting, like, is it actually still that hard of a game?
I'm sure it is for a dummy like me. I'm sure I would be very frustrated with it, but I'd be interested in trying them at least, for sure.
But here, we'll do one more. Mass the Goat, he wrote, I think you guys would enjoy Chivalry 2. The slasher genre is kind of a niche, but gameplay is super fun and immersive. It's like being inside of a medieval era siege that you see in movies. Keep up the good work. We actually played Chivalry 2, but we never did an episode, Aaron.
Because I don't think it was on Game Pass at the time we played it.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yes, you did.
And I remember I was over your house and we played it for a weekend.
Yes. And I was hooked. It was a super fun game. And then when it came out on Game Pass, I did fire it back up and played Gosh, I feel like I just played it for like 6 days straight and then just didn't pick it up again. I'd be interested in going back. I know that they've added a lot to the game over the
Yeah.
years. So I would be interested in going back and trying this one, but this is kind of one of my favorites. It is, there's nothing like it. Like there isn't another game out there that I could say it's just like that.
Mordhouse.
Well, yeah, but what's bigger?
Mordhouse actually I think was first. Well, no, this is Chivalry 2. So yeah, I think Chivalry 1 came out and then Mordhouse.
I think you're right. And I think the bigger series is the Chivalry game. So
Yeah. See, I bought Chivalry 2 because I originally bought Mordhouse because that was I think PC only. I think it eventually came to PlayStation, but my computer sucked, and so I was like, I can't do this. But then it was like, oh, Chivalry 2 is coming to Xbox. I was like, well, I'm buying that
Terrific.
game, and that game was great. So yeah, we might have to check that out. But anyway, thank you all for all you folks, wonderful folks who write us comments. Like I said, I always love the good feedback and the bad feedback. It always helps us improve. We always love hearing from people. But Aaron, we are here also to talk about the Developer Direct 2026. I gotta say, overall, what was your impressions of the show?
it was okay. I would say, with the exception of one game, there's one game that obviously sticks out here. It's probably the one that everybody anticipated the most. Everything else was pretty standard fare. Like there wasn't anything that stuck out as like, oh wow, this is a really good developer direct. Now keep in mind, I watched these comments while I was watching the developer direct. I can't stand people still doing this. But when I got to the end, all the comments of that's it, that's it, that's
Oh
it.
my god, yeah, that irritates me too.
How
It's like
have
they
they not-
clearly show you it's gonna be 3 to 4 games. Like,
How have they not figured this out? These developer directs are not new. And they specifically tell you what they're going to show you. They're going to
Yeah.
show you these things. It is not an E3 presentation. And yet every time there are people. So I don't want to sit here and come at this and compare it to E3. I'm saying all that to say I'm not comparing it to, a huge thing. Just compared to other developer directs, this was kind of middle of the road for me. What about you?
I actually would say this is a good to great. Yes, there wasn't anything that blew my socks off, but everything that I saw made me excited. Like it actually built me up. Because I think it was last year's. It was one of them. I want to say it was last year's, but when they had the surprise one, it was Visions of Mana.
Yeah.
I like that one. I remember I didn't like because they did that surprise of Visions of Mana, and I just remember that like the entire developer direct was like, "Hey, we're creating monsters, and the monsters are cool," and they just kept talking about the monsters, and I'm like, "What's the gameplay? What's the story?" Like, I remember like they did after they finished the direct. I'm like, I don't know what that game is. Like, it looks like a third-person action RPG. I don't know. Like, it looked like it was a game that if you're a fan of the Visions of Mana series, you're gonna like it, but obviously those games haven't been on Xbox, and it's like that didn't make me excited.
Yeah.
But this one actually, like all of them, I felt like showed and presented. This is our game. This is what's new. This is what we're aiming for, and it actually made me like, okay, I get what's going on here now. So that's why for me, like, yeah, nothing blew me away, but this was a good one.
So let's start with that then. So the first game that they showed off was Forza Horizon 6. Is this 6?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It was the sixth one.
Here's kind of my take on this one.
All right.
It's perfectly Forza, but nothing really new to the table.
Yes and no. Okay, so I'm in the same boat with you. Like every year, the Forza keeps getting better and better. Or like, honestly, I feel like Forza, you've created the best game. Like
You've created the best one. You're
and
just
it's like,
putting it in
how
a
do
new
you
location.
improve it?
And I don't hate that. So
Yeah.
I just want to be clear. I will play this day one.
Yep.
I will love this. I know for a fact I will because there has not been a bad Forza Horizon game. I will love this one. But when you're looking at this developer direct, I don't even know. I don't need them to reinvent the wheel. So I'm not even watching that and saying I need new things. But the new things they did present are just, it's not going to move the needle for me one way or the other. I'm still going to play this game. I'm still going to like it. Am I going to do any of that stuff? Probably not much. No.
See, but they announced one thing that got me excited.
What?
And it's I think we said it in our Forza 5 episode. And that's what I really wanted was for them to bring back a progression. Because I felt like that's what lacked is the festival's huge now. Ever since 3, I believe. You know, the very first 1 and 2 is like, oh, you're a newbie, you got to rank up and get better for these races and unlock the cars and stuff like that. But by the third one, it was just like, no, you're already a prestige driver. You're just doing the things now. And like, that's what the series has been. And it's kind of like, and I noticed it, especially with 5 too, that it was just like, you're free to do whatever you want, which is fine. But it's very much, it's the way I kind of feel like when I play Minecraft. Like, if I'm given a sandbox and say, do whatever you want, I don't know what I want to do. I want that direction. So it got me very excited that they're like, yeah, you're not even a racer. You're a tourist and you got to get wristbands and you got to upgrade those wristbands to unlock new cars to kind of keep going. That got me excited. There's that progression I want.
So basically, moment 1, you log in. There's probably only certain types of cars you can drive.
And that's what I want.
So those are your super slow, what were they, like D-level cars or whatever?
Yep.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's fair. I kind of forgot that that really wasn't how these games were working anymore, but I guess you are right. Thinking of the last one, I felt like I was kind of pretty much in a souped up vehicle pretty
right
darn
away.
quickly. Yeah.
And anytime you picked an event, it catered the event to the car you were driving.
Yeah.
So if you're like, yeah, I want to drive an S-ranked car, then it's like, okay, cool. This is an event for S ranks now. And there you go. There's your race.
Okay.
And like, it was fun at first, but I don't know. For me, it was just kind of like, well, I want some direction here.
So fine. It's a standard upgrade, but this is kind of where I go with the developer direct. If they didn't show me any of this, I'm still downloading it day one, and I'm still going to like this game. Like, it literally did not matter in this presentation. Now, there was one other thing at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
What do you think this means? You see a giant Gundam leg. Obviously, this game does take place in Japan. What do you think?
It could just be generic robot. Doesn't have to be a Gundam.
True. You just
I
said
think
Japan,
I think that is a hint to the DLC because every Forza DLC, they
Already?
always have one that's wacky. Oh yeah,
Game hasn't even launched yet.
the game's coming out in May. So that's the thing. I think that's what they did with the last one. It's like they had their 2-3 DLCs. They usually do 2 or 3 like decent DLCs and then obviously a bunch of car packs. But I think they usually released the 2 DLCs within the year of the game being launched.
That just seems crazy to me. Like, it seems crazy to me they're already hyping a DLC before the game even launches. You could be right. How have they not done Transformers at this point? Doesn't
That's a very good question. Does
that not
but
feel
then
like
again, what are you going to
obvious?
do? Because that's the thing.
What are you going to do with Gundams?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, is a robot just going to chase you and you just drive around? Like, I don't know. It could be. That's the thing. They also do showcase races.
That's what I was wondering.
It could just be a showcase race. I'm assuming the fact that they did that it could be a hint to a DLC.
Because the showcases were getting more and more over the top as the
they're fun. They're very fun.
Which they're always a blast. But first it's like you're racing a helicopter, and next thing you know, it's like a fighter jet, and
a train, a hovercraft. Yeah,
it started it felt like it was just ramping it up as much as possible. So I just wonder if that's what this was supposed to be, is you're going to be racing a giant robot or Gundam, whatever it is. But yeah, again, looks fine. I'm going to be excited for it regardless. I just don't know if there was anything in that developer direct that made me all that excited. You did point out one thing, but
because they announced obviously a ton of customizations, which I gotta say, I'm not a big customizer person, but that is cool that you could do multiplayer.
For so long though, they've been doing customization, so that's where I see them just like, all right, you've been doing that.
But you could customize a course with somebody at the same time. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just another added layer. I don't know how much of that I would still mess with.
Yeah.
I just want to just drive around Japan, hitting up some races, doing some challenges.
I'm curious about the estate. So the estate is another new thing is, you get your own garage, but you customize it. It's a big open field, but it's like, what does that mean? Is it strictly cosmetic? Because if it is, I'm going to maybe do it for 5 minutes and then never touch it again.
I'm going to guess it's cosmetic. That would be my take from it. They didn't mention it doing anything, so that usually leads to it just kind of being a fun little cosmetic thing. Yeah. Whatever.
Still, like you said, it still looks great. In which actually this year too, I know your son wanted a driving wheel. Did you get him that for Christmas?
He has a racing simulator.
Are you going to use a driving wheel for this game now?
We've already used it for Forza Horizon 5.
Is you already sick of it?
No, it's kind of funny. We had his, I guess it's his second cousins. We had his second cousins over, and one of the kids he's like 16 or 17 years old, and he saw it, and he was on it the entire time he was here. And he like came upstairs and was like, "That racing simulator is sick. I want one of those." So he was super into it. I think he was just playing F1. But it's a lot of fun. Like getting the feedback and the kick on the wheel and stuff like that does kind of change the feel of the game. It's a little tough, just because I'm used to using just a little thumbstick for that. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun. So we'll try that on there as well.
Yeah, but this is the only game in the developer direct that actually had an exact date as to when it's coming out.
Yep.
But you could expect Forza Horizon 6 May 19th.
Yep.
Which they did also announce. They're like, well, it was already announced that it was coming to PlayStation, but I like they kind of said the PlayStation version's not ready. So I don't think it's a timed exclusive kind of thing. I think it is just like, yeah, we're obviously focusing on making sure the Xbox version's good. Then we'll fix up the PlayStation one.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I don't think they said anything. I think they said the PlayStation version will come out later this year.
They just said later.
Yeah. But yeah, following that though was Beast of Reincarnation by Game Freak. If you do not know, Game Freak, if you do not know, but you definitely do now after this direct, Game Freak is the studio that makes Pokemon. I started to laugh of how much they're like, we make Pokemon. With the Pokemon series, we make monsters. There's Pokemon. We do Pokemon. And I'm like, okay, I get it, guys.
Yeah,
that was kind of making me laugh.
I do wonder if it was like if people don't recognize that name, it just gives them a shot of pedigree to say
But
like we're not
I would be
nobody.
saying it right now. The Pokemon games have been pretty rocky recently.
I don't know if they've been making them this entire time, have they?
I
thought
believe so.
I thought Game Freak used to make the Pokemon games. I didn't think that was something that we're still doing today. You could be right. You could be right. And if that is the case, you were spot on. You probably shouldn't be mentioning it because I think the last two have been just bombed by fans. So again, this is one of those games. I'm glad they showed it off because the last time we saw it, I just went, eh.
Yeah.
This time I said, okay, I get it a little bit more. I'm actually glad that it showed some of this stuff off. I still don't know if this is a game for me for one reason and one reason only. I suck at a lot of these types of games. And I really suck at Souls games. And
Is this a Souls game?
I can't tell. I don't know yet.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And
I
this is going to be my same thing with Vision Mana. I was kind of like, what is this exactly?
Because I'm into it. Like, I think the world looks cool. I think the combos with you and your dog are kind of cool. So it definitely seems to have some kind of RPG elements to it. Is it more action RPG or more action Souls? And that to me is going to be a defining factor for me on whether I'm going to enjoy this game or not. But at least on this look, it did show a lot more where I was like, okay, I could see where this is actually going to be a pretty decent game.
Yeah. Because, like, that was, like, when I was watching this, like I said, the beginning was just Pokemon. We create monsters, the environment, the monsters are cool. It's like, okay, I get it. But I'm like, what is even this story? They kept saying, yeah, there's a plant called the Blight. Okay, but what am I doing? What is this character doing? Yeah. And it wasn't until about close to the end when they're like, oh, you're going to fight the Beast of Reincarnation. Okay, now I get it. I am trying to fight a big bad. Okay, so it's like, now I kind of get what the plot is. One thing that also kind of made me laugh is this. I also was going to call this game the new Avatar. Because your character has plants in her hair and she uses it to connect to other animals with plants. And I'm like, that's straight up out of Avatar. Like, this is just copying it.
She can create bridges with her hair. She can kind of propel herself on the hair. Some of those mechanics looked pretty decent. But yeah, it was a convoluted way of showing off this game.
It was.
Like, they would like give you elements of the story throughout, which helped. But I felt like, oh, this is how you probably should have introduced the game. You probably should have like, hey, this is what the game is. Here's some of the story beats. Instead, it kind of was all over the place. Like they had a section just dedicated to your character and the dog.
Yeah.
And then there was one dedicated to kind of the environment. And then one kind of dedicated to like the story. When all those things put together are interesting, although albeit not original, calling something the Blight, I wish I had a nickel for every time a video game or movie had something called the Blight.
Yeah.
There's just so many of that. So I wouldn't say anything that I was seeing there was like wholly original story wise, but vision wise, I'm into this. I'm into it.
Yeah. Like near the end of it, I was kind of like, okay, I'm actually feeling better about this. The way I was looking, I think this is a action RPG. Is kind of what
That'd
this
be
is
my
going for,
guess.
because there is stealth elements to it. You know, they were saying you could go stealth, you can actually do range. So I'm like, okay, but also too, I can't tell. Is this open world? Like that's the thing
Yeah.
too. I don't quite get. Do I ride the wolf? Like, is there traversal? Like, obviously, you got a little traversal of her like pushing herself with the vines. Okay, but yeah, there still is a lot to this that I'm like, I don't fully get what this is doing and what the game is.
It gave me more information. It didn't give me everything though. You're
Exactly.
100% right.
That's why for me, this is probably the weakest game of the show. I think this is for me was the weakest one. I am still very excited for this because it does still look pretty cool. Another thing that also made me chuckle. This is obviously supposed to be in the futuristic Japan. A lot of people have Japanese name. Then I like there's like one male and his name's Brad. like
Well, your
like
character's name isn't your character's name like Emma?
Emma. Yeah, the wolf's name is Ku. Then I can't remember. Then there was a couple other with very Japanese name. I just always made me laugh. Where it's like Brad.
Brad.
It's like okay, we got Brad here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this. I definitely will probably play it day one.
I was a little
wary.
surprised. Also, kind of at the end of this, it did confirm. So all games that were showed, all 4 games, they said would be
This
play
year.
anywhere. So if you purchase on Xbox, it's playable on PC, and if you have a handheld, it's playable on that handheld as well. But I was surprised that this is a day one Game Pass exclusive because they don't own Game Freak. So this means they had some type of an exclusive deal with them to get it on Game Pass day one. I was a little surprised by that because it's obviously a very Japanese centric studio. I wonder if Game Pass, if they're trying to get into the Japanese market, and this is just their way of trying to bridge that gap, just seems like an interesting game to kind of lock down for game one or for day one. So interesting.
Well, maybe Xbox shouldn't have shut down their one Japanese studio they owned. But,
Burn.
Yeah. But this game is coming day one also on PlayStation.
Yep.
But yeah, you can expect this game on summer 2026. This is also too what I loved about this developer direct. I noticed they've been doing this just about every year. So obviously these directs are kind of like these are 4 big games that we're coming out with. They're always very well paced as to like the release dates. So you literally got the one very soon of Forza. Then following that, you have the one coming in spring, which we're talking about next is Kiln. Then you got the summer. Then you got autumn. Like it literally is every season. Like yeah, here we go. This is how we kind of pace the games. Very smart.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, the next game was the surprise game, which was from Double Fine, which I loved because I liked when we did Keeper. We all were kind of about it, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like Double Fine. Kiln, on the other hand, looks and feels like Double Fine.
Yeah.
Seeing this, so Kiln is a party brawler where you are playing a various pot that you personally will create, and you're doing various objectives on a map. It seemed like the one mode they just kept showing was the quenching of the other enemy's kiln.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of collecting water and trying to throw it in their kiln. But this game, I got to say, I actually, first when I saw it, I went, meh. And then as it kept going, I'm like, actually, this looks like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so really cool trailer. I love that they explained where this game came from and where some of the other games have come from, which is these 2 weeks. Someone gets to pitch a game idea and they just work on the game for 2 weeks. It just feels like, man, is this like the last real gaming studio? Like, it's crazy to me that Microsoft purchased them and Microsoft's, with all of its money and resources, is just fine with letting Double Fine continue to be Double Fine and highlight them. That was just a cool thing to hear, where it was just like, they didn't come in there and just totally monopolize that thing. They are letting them make the passion projects that they like making. So that part of it was really cool. I think the game looks good. I am super worried about this game being dead on arrival, though.
You think?
Has Double Fine really ever pushed into multiplayer? I can't think of a game.
Heavy multiplayer, no. But one of the other Fortnite games they showed, Trenched, love that game. That was a co-op game. That was a tower defense, third-person mech
Okay.
tower defense game. So
Okay.
they've done games that have multiplayer, but usually co-op. As far as like competitive co-op, no, I don't think they've done any.
So I love the creative nature of this game. Love, love, love it. And it has Double Fine written all over it. You are 100% right. But what kind of bums me out about this is it being multiplayer focused is those games kind of struggle in today's market.
Yeah.
They kind of show up and their audience can die out really, really quickly. So it feels like one of these, like, man, unless they are willing to really invest something in this, even then, I don't know. Like, think about Fall Guys. Remember when Fall Guys hit the market? Kind of a similar idea. Kind of everybody gets complacent. I guess Fall Guys is still around.
It
still
still
doing
is.
its thing. I don't know how popular it is, and it was big for like 2 weeks. This also gave me vibes of like Splatoon, that kind of team-based,
Yeah.
you trying to get stuff into the, trying to take out somebody's their other kiln. But again, how long can you keep that thing afloat? How long until
mean,
everybody tries it out and walks away from it?
I don't think, once again, I don't think they probably spent a ton of money making this game because they usually don't. Usually these Fortnite games are really kind of quick and simple, and it's a nice, fun package. So, one, I don't think it's going to be like, oh, this needs to be a huge return on investment. I don't think this is meant to be a live service, like a game as a service type of thing of got to level up your battle pass. This does seem like something, I just want to play something fun, kind of just goofy for the weekend. Cool. Let me boot up Kiln. Something I can kind of put down and forget about for a while.
You're
come back to
100
it.
dependent on other people playing it.
It's true.
So that's where I kind of fear of, is this something that really kind of exists for a month and then nobody's going back to it? And then if you do want to go play it, well, you just got to hope somebody else is on there. That's the thing that kind of bums me out about it.
See, but I feel like me and Keith are once again perfect target audience. Because me and Keith, whatever reason, have gravitated to some weird, random multiplayer games. I remember one. It was called, I think it was like Hyperscape. It was a 2D MOBA. Me and Keith played that literally till they pulled the plug on that game. There was another one where you literally, it was like voxel, where you literally create a creature. Me and Keith had a Pokemon. I was a Snorlax. He was like a Pikachu. And we dominated that. We got the Diamond League. Like, nobody played that game, but me and Keith, whatever reason, we're like, we're playing this. We're getting to the top of the leaderboard. Yeah, we got to the Diamond League, which was like the highest. But yeah, so to me, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks like another one of those goofy, stupid multiplayer games that, for whatever reason, me and Keith are going to just be addicted to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's going to be an audience there. It's just, again, when you think about Double Fine, you're thinking about, really memorable, beautifully crafted single player games. That's their bread and butter. So this goes into a territory of beautifully crafted multiplayer brawler that you're like, okay. I did love in this trailer, though, the level designs were super cool.
I have one issue. Was it just me, or was this game very dark? Like, why was there no lights? Like, to me, I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't know if it's just how I'm seeing this video, but it is lacking lights.
I didn't think it was that dark. That didn't stick out to me. Maybe you were just going blind.
I don't know.
I felt like I was seeing things just clearly. Every level was in a dark environment. I did feel like that. I didn't feel like anything was done in daylight, but I didn't think. But the reason why it like really stuck, obviously, there's a lot of flashing colors going on.
Yeah.
In it, so it was very bright, and I wonder if that's just why the levels are darker. It's just so it's a higher contrast there, but it didn't seem that dark.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. To me, it did. Like, yes, there's some neon lights and everything, but I don't know. I liked too that this is kind of a like class-based hero. Don't want to say shooter, but a hero game. And it's all depending on your pot that you're
Yeah.
making. You
Yeah.
choose whether you're a small lump of clay, medium, or large. And then you obviously personally design the vase, cup, whatever you want, and that's like your class. Oh, do you want to be a big old vase? Like you could carry a lot of water. You're much slower. Do you want to be a tiny saucer? Because that's the thing too. Where when this game's coming up, they're like you can make whatever you want. I'm like, man, there's gonna be penises everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere. But no, but then like when I was seeing them create things, it's like, oh, it's kind of forcing you. You gotta make some sort of cup vase
Yeah.
thing like that. And it's like, okay, never mind. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of grotesque stuff here.
People will try though. People
yeah.
will try. Those elements like the designing of the cup or vase, whatever you're building, bucket. That stuff kind of reminds me of like gosh, what is Jackbox? That looks like a Jackbox style game where you would design something.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about kind of like a party brawler, like that's spot on.
I just signed up for the beta.
Oh, there you go. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
So there's a beta. If you want to sign up, go ahead and check it out.
It's there. They announced that during the direct that they do have a closed beta coming up.
Yeah.
But no. I was one thing I was disappointed. Yeah, I feel like they only showed the one game mode where you are dousing water into the enemy killing.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out if that's all.
Yeah. And that was,
was.
so that to me that was also kind of a little like, okay, that's kind of lame. I don't looking at screenshots. This does look dark. It looks like it's on the darker side.
I don't know. Didn't stick out to me.
But anyway, you can expect Kiln. It is coming out in spring 2026.
Yep.
They did not announce other consoles for that one though, as far as I remember. It wouldn't
think
surprise
they-
me though if they do.
I think Keeper went out on everything, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least
so
PC, I know that.
Yeah, so I'd imagine it would follow the same route.
Yep.
Because it's a smaller game, so I don't think Xbox would care if it launched on all platforms at the same time.
Especially if it's multiplayer, you need to get that player base.
Good point.
But finally, the last game, which definitely was probably I would say was my favorite game of the show,
Easily.
and that is Fable. I am so glad they did this. I have been so wary about Fable
Yep.
because anything they were showing, it did not feel like Fable. Everything they were showing, I'm like, this is Fable name alone, because it seemed like which I want to get your take on this. So they always kind of showed a character that was a female protagonist. Everyone, of course, depending where you stand, obviously people are like, duh, you're only female, sucks, blah, blah, blah. My biggest complaint about it was Fable always had a character creator. Honestly, I was trying to think about it today. Anytime there's a game with a morality system, you've always created your character. I don't think I could think of a game where you were forced in a specific protagonist and it had a morality system. Because I was thinking of like all the Bioware games did it, Fable.
Yeah.
And so it's like, to me, I was like, this is odd. Like, why would you not create a Fable? Because in other videos, it kept saying, this is your character. And it's like, well, then why can't I have a character creator? They finally announced it. You actually have a character creator in Fable. So glad they did. Yeah, this looked like Fable. This made me so much more excited. I actually cannot wait for this game now.
Yeah. So obviously Fable has been announced for a few years now. There seemed to be a lot of pushback on that character. So they went back and fixed the graphics. They then showed another trailer later on, and the character looked a little different, but then they still just kind of disappeared. Yeah. So there were a lot of questions on whether it was in trouble or not. And then today's developer direct kind of maybe answers why it's kind of taken so long. So yeah, the character creator, awesome. I'm guessing it was not originally in there. So,
I kind of have a feeling that too.
So it would be super cool if that was something that was added and they realized like, yeah, this is probably something we need to go back and do. It lives out, in my opinion, this seems to live out as close to what the original dream of Fable was supposed to be. Now, do you remember the original promise of the very first Fable?
We talked about it in our Fable episode, and we've gotten some negative reviews because we were very negative on Fable.
So the thing about Peter Molyneux, so Lionhead Studios, which I also love that they called out Lionhead Studios in this.
Yep. R.I.P. Lionhead.
Yeah, so the original Fable games were made by Lionhead Studios. Peter Molyneux was the head of that studio. He has a history. I mean, literally almost every game he's ever made of him overselling on the promise of what the game actually is.
Yeah, and
So
the last
basically-
game of his ruined him.
So well, he says his next game is going to be his last one, the one that they just launched. It kind of, I don't know. If you go look at it, it looks like some other thing you've seen. But they call out Lionhead Studios and basically say this was their legacy and we just want to improve on it. The very first Fable, I remember he described about how the world would change on the decisions you made. And he used to say things like, if you cut a tree, the scar on that tree would still exist years later. You would still see that. And I remember just being like, that sounds incredible. And it never was that. But this game looks like it's getting as close to that kind of feeling as possible. They mentioned there are over 1,000 characters in this game, each one of them individually named, individually voiced, and they work their normal day. You could follow them around all day as they go through. That had to take an eternity
Yeah.
to make that stuff work. Even the big events where you make decisions in the game, I think is super cool, and how it alters your world.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bad thing in this trailer. I loved absolutely everything it showed.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, because that's the little things, not little things, but there was a lot of things in the Fable series. Like as the games have gone on, they got better, but were still kind of annoying. Case in point, like the titles. Like I remember in the first, and I think even in the second one, you could maybe unlock the title, but it was you equipping the title when people would call you Chicken Chaser and stuff like that. Oh, you're chasing chickens. Like in this one, it's live. So as you are kicking chickens, I don't know if it actually will pop up in the screen when you're playing the game, but you'll get like kind of points of like, oh, this goes to your Chicken Chaser title. And like, depending what you're doing, a person will kind of read you and be like, yeah, I don't like you because you're a rich person. You own a bunch of businesses. So I like everything you're doing is actually progressing you toward these titles, and people, depending how they feel about you, will call you on these titles. Like not everyone may call you, a rich tycoon, but obviously someone who's probably more of a poorer status might make fun of you for it. And that to me, I'm like, that is what I wanted. Not just let me buy the title and equip it. Now people are calling me Chicken Chaser. No, like that doesn't feel good. And then same with like the big decisions. I didn't feel like it was until Fable 3 where you had these big major decisions. Here's a quarry. Are you going to drain the quarry to mine its natural resources to kind of help you with the final battle? Or do you keep it in its natural state and try to come up the money with your own? But like that was how the decisions were done. It was very clear cut, cookie cutter, like this is the decision. Do you want it this way or that way? But it sounds like in Fable 3 here, it's definitely more live. They did the one example of Richard Ayoda's character, which they announced the very first time they announced this game, of him being a giant. Do you kill him or do you save him? If you kill him, his rotting corpse is going to be sitting out there in the field, and it's going to affect house prices and it's going to affect people. Like it's going to be an ongoing decision because you did this. This is what's happening. Awesome. Like these are things that I wanted in the Fable games that I felt like they were getting to. So I agree with you, Aaron, that this actually feels like this is what Lionhead had for an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they took all those ideas, all those promises that Peter had, and then actually started to develop the game kind of around those core concepts. And my goodness, like this feels like a game I'm going to spend a lot of time doing nonsense in.
Yes. Because they announced your favorite thing in the Fable games, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they didn't show specifically wood chopping.
No, but they showed blacksmithing.
They did show blacksmithing, which looked a little more interactive than the wood chopping that we did back. What Fable was that I used to do that for?
2. That was Fable 2.
So just again, a little background if you haven't caught. I'm sure this was brought up in the Fable episode, however long ago that was discussed. I would sit on Fable 2 and chop wood for Andrew. So I remember there were times you weren't even in the room. And I would be sitting there on repeat, chopping wood, making money. Andrew would then come home and be a millionaire because I made him one. And he would just start purchasing everything in the town. Because you went and tried to purchase up every available house in the town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I feel like I get to go do that part. I don't know why that was like such a fun thing for me. I didn't care about purchasing anything. To me, it was just a matter of being the master of cutting wood, and it made you filthy rich.
Oh, I mean, it was a very simple game because it was
Yeah.
literally just a press A on the square when it's perfect, and if you and it did a combo. If you kept
Yep.
getting perfect, 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 you got up to a 10 times multiplier, and so that was the thing. You're like 10 times multiplier. You just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. And so I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to live out this dream again in the new Fable. So, yeah, same thing. You can purchase up all the houses, you can rent to people, you can hire townspeople to work in the businesses that you own. Goodness.
Have a family, have kids.
Yeah, this is gonna. Oh yeah, that was another kind of cool thing to see is the families, and all the little kids you had running around. I mean, just I'm incredibly excited. Everything they showed in here was just awesome.
Yep. But one weird thing for me still though is what is the story? What
I
are
don't
you
care.
doing?
I don't even care.
Like, like don't get me wrong, I don't care, but it is odd that this game is slotted to come out in autumn 2026. If you told
Don't
me
even
what,
show
what
me.
are you doing?
I don't know who the bad guy is. I
Is
don't.
there a bad guy?
I don't. I don't even care. I don't even care. What you showed me today was really. Do you remember the main antagonist in the other ones?
Yes. I remember the very first one.
But
Second one, I don't. And the third one, kind of.
Did you walk out of those games with that even mattering to you? Because it doesn't
No.
sound like it does.
Because
it
no,
isn't.
that was one of my complaints. I always felt like the stories in all the fables were kind of
Yeah, but that wasn't what made them fun.
Yes,
So I think
exactly.
what they did today is they recognized, yeah, we could do the whole action trailer and you can see the bad guy and all that stuff. But they're like, no, you want to see the Fable stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They nailed that. Because if you had doubts, which everybody did, because all we've seen are, CGI trailers. We hadn't seen any gameplay yet, and a whole lot of nothing. They've been pretty radio silent. So I think there was a lot of like, oh gosh, what are we about to get? What's going to happen? And keep in mind also, this is Playground Games. Playground Games was shown earlier at Forza.
Which
They're
they kind
known-
of made a joke about where they're like, yeah, we make car games.
yeah, we're kind of known for car games. So if you had some feeling of, yeah, they make a great car game, can they make something else? And can they make Fable, which is a well-known game series that everybody seems to love? Today, it seemed like they recognize these are the core things that make Fable important to people,
Yeah.
and this is how we're nailing it. And that's a perfect way to do a developer direct.
Yeah, so glad. Like this is to me why you needed to have developer directs, because that's the thing. A lot of people kind of question like, why don't you just do an E3? But to me, this was very much like, I am glad they had the developers on here explain this is Fable. We are bringing Fable back, and like, yes, I looked at this game and I'm like, this looks and feels like Fable now. I'm very excited.
No, these developer directs are really smart because it usually gives them an opportunity to explain why they made this game, like where it came from. And much like we saw with Kiln, where they really did explain, this is how this was birthed. This is the guy that came up with it. This guy over here, Joe over here made this. And this is another good example of like, you got to hear them recognize what Lionshead Studio did, and then them talk through kind of their setup for it. Even talking about the morality system, which they didn't get into detail on, but we know it's there. Again, a really important part of the Fable games, so they know the morality system is important, and even their way of kind of describing that this morality isn't just a bad or good, which is
Yeah,
an old
they said
Fable
gray.
thing. Yeah, that sometimes your decisions can be good for certain things but bad for other things. And gosh, man, that's the stuff you needed to hear. That was the stuff that you're like, all right, whole lot of relief there. Just can't wait to play this.
Yep. They actually showed some combat too, because that's the thing too. The combat
Yep.
they were showing was always very CGI,
Yep.
but this one actually showed a little bit of snippets, and they're like, "This looks good. This looks fun." Because that's the thing. A lot of Fable games, if you don't remember, is just X X X X, maybe a Y there, maybe you throw a spell, but it's a lot of mashing X. You're dodging a little here and there, but that's it. It was very flat. It was a very flat combat. This looked very much more flowing and organic.
There was one scene that stuck out to me. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He had like a little like bow launcher thing in his hand, and he was shooting at a skeleton that had armor on. and it was like dink, dink, dink off the armor. It wasn't hurting him. And so he went and shot at his leg and took him down by the leg. And I was like, cool. I really like that. Because like you said, it wasn't just like an XXY mashing thing. It was a little more dynamic.
And it's funny, like, talking about this. Like, I would not think I actually would be as excited because now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, they didn't talk too much about the morality system. They didn't talk about the RPG, like how am I leveling up skills. They didn't really talk about loot, story, like honestly, a lot of things. Is this an open world game? Like, I don't know. To me, there is a lot they didn't talk about, but still, they, as we're saying, they showed enough that I'm like, this looks like a Fable game. I am now excited. I want Fable again.
Yep. It showed that they understood it. So, because here's how I feel about it when I walk out of this. They understood the core of Fable. It makes me feel confident they'll get the rest.
Yeah, same.
Because that stuff looks like they've nailed.
So since this is coming out in autumn, do you think we're seeing anything else anymore? Do you think they basically like, this is going to make people excited enough? Wait till it's all out.
Oh, no. You'll get something in the summer.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they usually do their Xbox showcase during the summer.
The fact that this is coming out in the fall feels like this is one big game they're hoping to launch probably around, I'm going to guess, around Thanksgiving. Is going to be there. I think they're probably pretty confident that this one's going to be a big one.
Isn't it during around Thanksgiving? Isn't that when Grand Theft Auto coming out?
Oh, yeah, I think it comes out in October, right? I thought that comes out in October.
November 19th.
Okay. So yeah, everyone's got to work around that.
Oh boy, so that's a good question then. Maybe that's why they didn't give a release date for it.
Yeah, they'll do a month before.
Okay, so you think this will come out before Grand Theft
Give a wide berth. I would say if you were smart, you would try and get this out before that and give yourself at least a month. But I mean, part of that is like, yeah, and also I don't know if they care that much about that. Like, yeah, you want to sell some copies. Obviously, you're going to release it on PlayStation. You're going to want to sell some copies, but
yeah, it's PlayStation Day 1 as well.
Is that going to affect Game Pass? Probably not.
No. Yeah. Very excited for it. One more question, though. Do you think, since they did mention cars, do you think there will be some sort of racing game in this? Do you think they'll put some sort of kart racing?
Would you be shocked? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I think it would be funny if they did.
I think it would be funny if they put
stuff. Like, what, you think foot stuff?
No, I think there's going to be some fun stuff in this game.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah. I think there's going to be some funny, wacky things in there. Because all the Fables kind of had that.
Yeah, but it's just the fact that they kept talking about, like, yeah, we make car games. To me, I think it would be funny if they try to throw in some sort of racing game in this.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the Developer Direct. Overall, like I said, I thought this was a good show. It definitely made me excited for some of these games.
For sure.
Very excited. Yeah, I loved, like I said, the pacing of the release dates on these. So, yeah, this is already shaping up to, it looks like, to be a very good year for Xbox.
Yeah. I would agree. I think it was a very good showing today. By the end, though, I was like, is that it? Is that it?
Is that anything else? Anything else? Come on. But tell us your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear them. We're going to try to do a little more side quest episodes here. Try to talk, read some fan mail, talk to people, talk about news. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for joining. As I said, go to GamePassGrabBag.com. Top right corner, you'll find the links to our YouTube. I've been trying to stream there more. Go to our Discord, join us. Me and Keith are quite active on there. Come by, say hi, give us game recommendations. Of course, always write us comments on Spotify. We always love it. But thank you all for joining us. I've been your hardcore gamer, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952. And until next time.
Yeah. Thanks,
love you all.
Andrew, for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining. Love you all. See you again next week.